Hello there, Jofinator here. FTB play episode 20. We've hit a big platform today, so we're going to go for a little bit longer. But I wanted to show you guys first before we get into what we're going to do today, just how well this peat bog's been working. We've got 3 peat in that chest there, which isn't very much, but you can see this stuff is really starting to come along, and I can't really do anything with it. I can get myself some peat if I dig it up, but it's better to just leave it and let the machine do it. So what we're going to do is I've got some levers here. I'm just going to replace this stuff with a little bit more reliable source on stopping the flow of power. We're going to place those down just like that. Not really caring how they land. Throw a bit of fuel in there. Not enough to kind of keep it going forever, but enough to kind of get it running. Alright. And we'll start them back up. And what we're going to make, like I said last episode, today is a bunch of peat-fired engines, maybe a few pipes, which I've already got in my inventory, and we'll get started on some more Mistcraft. We need to find some worlds with some crystals, so that'll take us a little while, but that should be a good time. So what we're going to do is I'll run back to the base right now, and we'll get started, so I'll be right back, guys. Alrighty guys, I am back. You can see here I've emptied the water out. It took about 20 to 25 minutes to do so. It took a long time to fall down. The reason I did that, beyond just leaving my quarry here, was because I actually had a diamond, and I wondered to myself, well, if you only get 1 diamond, the odds of only having 1 diamond as a node are very, very small. The average is if you take 1, and then 2, and then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6, then 7, then 8, and you divide it all by 8, are much higher of getting greater than 1 than just 1. So I went down there and I looked around, and there's actually only 1 diamond. So that was a little bit disappointing, but you can see here the quarry has finished, so we're just going to take all these items back to base and call it a day. I'm going to move my quarry somewhere else, maybe into a Mistcraft world or something. I'm not sure. But for now, this is the end of this quarry area, because I've only gotten 1 diamond out of all of this land, so that's no good. This isn't a very diamond-rich land. I'm going to be like the Americans and move where the money is, so let's get ready to get on those peat engines, shall we? Grab a few more cobble. Perfect. Alright, so what we're going to do first is, you can see I've already got some pistons here, which is what the primary ingredient is. Besides copper. So what we're going to do next is build some copper gears. So I'm going to build 6 engines, as you can probably count, 2 gears to each piston. So I'm going to get 6 wooden gears. I'm going to upgrade those to stone gears. I'm going to upgrade these one more time to copper gears. Perfect. And what you might be noticing is anytime I press shift, these weird little icons come up for my items. Okay, and that's because with Thaumcraft, you use these symbols to make other magical items. So each of those has a magical value, and you use that to make magical items. Quite obvious if you put the 2 and 2 together. So we're going to throw our pistons with our gears, with some glass and some copper, and we'll get ourselves some peat-fired engines. And what we're going to do is, after I grab a wrench here, we're going to take these downstairs with some electrical power. Take them all the way down, just like so. We'll place them just like this. Actually, I should probably place my piping down first. You can see why I moved this tank, because I did want to put something in this room. So, grab our engines back, plop, 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 just like that. Alright, now we're going to run some power, and it's going to go straight up and probably over to that side of the room. So knock the torch off if we can. Oh, just like so. Ugh. And we'll have it running up through that room right there. So if we were to go back upstairs and dig a hole for where we're going to have our thermal expansion, we'll see that if we dig right below this, I believe right below this anyway. Oh, it's a little bit farther back. Okay, so that reminds me where this stuff has to go. So if we dig this up, just like that, okay, this is where we're going to have all of our thermal expansion. Awesome. So I'll go back down, we'll grab our cabling, or our piping here, and place it just like that. We'll put the thermal expansion on that side of the room for now. We won't get too open floored about all this design. So now that we've got our peat-fired engines, we'll go off into the next step. So we got our peat-fired engines, we'll throw some peat in there, and you'll see that there's a section here for peat, so that's where the fuel goes, and then there's this stuff, and this is ash. Each peat, so each 1.5 peat, I believe, after you burn 1.5, you get a piece of ash. And once this fills up, the engine will stop running. And ash, if we type it in here, and no, it's not ash ketchum. Ash, this ash, is used to make bituminous peat or compost, as well as fertilizer. The most efficient thing is compost, which, if you remember, you can use in humus. So it's can be kind of like a Rune or whatever it is, Goldenberg machine later on in the series. So that should be a lot of fun. And that is what I plan on doing, is making a bunch of self-sufficient machines that basically build themselves and fuel themselves and kind of regenerate everything. So that should be a lot of fun. So now that we got this done, let me clear up my inventory and we'll get started on some Mistcraft. Awesome. Alright. Alrighty guys, I am back. I was going to go and do some Mistcraft like I said I was. But then I decided, look at this chest. Look at how much ore is building up in here, and look how dwindling my resources are getting. I should have had this chest filled a long time ago. It should never take 20 episodes at approximately 20 minutes each to fill a chest like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to get on this thermal expansion stuff, because we do need some sort of ore processing going on. So what I decided was we're going to build a mod item to help us with that. So what we're going to build is the project table. If you go and type table, you'll come up with a project table. This is an item from Red Power. It allows us to build kind of like the automatic crafting table in that it kind of draws itself out. But the most awesome part about it, or the most interesting I guess, is that once you have it, it has its own inventory. So if we build one here, just like so, okay, and we place it in the world, you open it up and you can see it's got a crafting table just much like this one, but on top of that it also has its own inventory, which is perfect for what I need to do. So if we grab some I don't know what we can grab. If we grab, say, some sand here, normally to build sandstone we would have to do it ourselves, right? We'd have to put one, or we could stack them all kind of like this, right? We could stack them all. But with the project table we can just make a recipe, okay, and then we place it in the bottom inventory and you'll see it draws it out of the inventory itself, which is absolutely perfect for what I need to do next, because I'm about to make a very large build with a bunch of machines that are very similar. So if I place these back in there, if I get a special flower to get indigo dye, I can make these things called plans. I think if we type in blank plans, you can see we need some indigo dye and some paper. I've got tons of paper. You can see how many reeds I've got. But to get indigo dye, we need indigo flowers. And unfortunately, because of the biome I'm in, which is a extreme or extra biomes biome, red power flowers won't grow here. Not naturally, anyway. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to go downstairs and we're going to have to make them grow with some bone meal. So that's what we're going to be doing for the next little bit. I'm going to grab myself the sickle, and we're going to go downstairs and do that. So I'm going to sleep real quick and I'll come back once I found a few flowers. So I will be back, guys. Okay guys, I am back. I'm just standing outside here, just basically right clicking with my bone meal to get flowers to grow, but I don't really need to, because you can see here I've already got myself one of those special flowers. To get indigo dye I need this flower, and which is this one right here, so that's perfect. So now I'll just clear the land with my handy dandy sickle, just like so. You can see that the sickle doesn't work on the extreme biomes or extra biomes, whatever you want to call it. It's flowers, but it does work. So we'll just click again until we see another flower. Then we'll bust the land again. Nothing. Clear the land. Nothing, nothing. Try again. Nothing. There's one. There's two. Perfect. So we'll clear the land again. 3 of them. Holy. Which is just perfect. Which is just what we need. Okay, so we'll pick up all these seeds here, getting lots of flax, which is good. We'll do a little bit more, see if we can get another flower or two. Nice, got one. Oh, so close. Maybe one more. Oh, close. Yeah, there we go. So I'll just clear up the land here. Getting a whole bunch of flowers because we do need quite a bit of indigo dye, so we'll go back upstairs and get ready to get back to this build. Hungry. Neat fact, did you guys know that if you're eating while on a ladder, it won't slow you down? Yeah, interesting. So if I'm walking and I'm eating, it's super slow, but not on a ladder. Nuh-uh. Alrighty, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some paper from downstairs, and I will be back in a jiffy, guys. Okay, guys, I am back again, and you can see here I'm about to make myself a ton of blank plans, about 12, which is a good amount, and you'll see that the blank plans I use in this table in a second, so I'll show you what those are used for. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab a bunch of items to get ready for this next build. Oh, there it is. Olv Eraser. The reason why I never type P, by the way, is because that's my recording key. You're all going to hate on me, but I've gotten used to it, so I can't switch now. A pulverizer we need a piston for, machine frame, and a redstone reception coil. And unfortunately, these are all man-made items. I have to make them. I can't just go find them. But because I'm going to need so many for this mod on its own, I'm going to make a plan for each one of them. So I'm going to make a piston. So we'll grab our 3 and our 4 cobble, piece of iron, and some redstone. Oh, my bad. Piece of iron and some redstone. And you'll see what the plans do. And I'm not just basically making this up as I go. I do have a plan here, guys. So if we make ourselves a piston, we could just grab this out of the table, but instead I'm going to place a plan up here, and you'll see this button pops up. And if I click this button, I write this recipe onto this plan. So now I can take all these items out. And you'll see it kind of remains as a shadow, and that means I can still click with this plan in this slot and grab a piston out, which is absolutely perfect because it allows me to build on-demand stuff. So what you'll also see I need is a redstone reception coil, which is redstone, gold, and redstone. So we'll grab ourselves a little bit of gold, some redstone, and we'll make it one of those as a plan too. So some redstone, some gold, kind of unnecessary for how easy it is, but I'm still going to do it because I need quite a few. Save yourself time any way you can. And we also need a machine frame. A machine frame is 4 iron, 4 glass, and a piece of gold. So we'll grab ourselves 1 piece of gold, 4 iron, and some glass. And we'll make a plan for that as well. Just like so. Make a plan for that. Grab our machine frame. Now, seeing as I've got these 3 plans, the piston one's going to be the most versatile because it applies to almost every mod in the game. To make a pulverizer specifically though, which is basically the macerator from Industrial Craft, but in thermal expansion. I believe this is thermal expansion anyway, hopefully. What we're going to need is some flint and copper. I believe I have quite a bit of flint. Yep, there we go. And we need some copper. So you can see my resources are really dwindling down. I got barely enough tin and copper to survive. So we'll throw these in here real quick. You remember the recipe. Just like so, to get the pulverizer. Piston, frame, coil, copper, flint. Grab myself a pulverizer. Awesome. So now if I take this pulverizer and I lay it down on this special piping over here, and I lay it down, you see it has this kind of sweet inventory. It needs some MJ, which is Minecraft Joules. Okay, it has to have some sort of thing to kind of burn through, which is like copper and tin and iron, and it has an output slot with a backup output slot. And you'll see the reason for that is this. If I take, say, my piece of iron and I press U, okay, you'll see that it can go through a powered furnace and make an iron ingot, but if it goes through a pulverizer, it'll give us 2 pulverized iron, which makes iron ingots, and it also gives us a 5% chance to get a ferrous dust. And that's another mod item that is made from this mod. It's used in ingots and something else, I believe. For now it's just used in ingots, And these ingots, I don't believe have any use yet. Yeah, they don't. But that's in the near future, guys, so don't hold back just yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to place, I think, a little bit of copper in this pulverizer for now, just like so. And then we're going to go downstairs. We're going to go downstairs, sorry. And we're going to turn on these engines and see what happens. Hopefully that does something for us. So it's clearly powering something. So if we run back upstairs, you can see it's started to work, I hope. I've been wrong before, though. So you can see we've got the pulverizer working. It's working pretty slow because it has to build up a lot of power. But what we can see here is it's using 1 Minecraft joule per tick. Its maximum output is 4, but you can see its internal storage is 750. And as this gets higher, these machines are really smart in that they automatically upgrade this. So if this gets up to 1,000, it should go up to 1.5 or 1.6, and we'll see it slowly build itself up. So you can see it's starting to go up now, 1.1. And you can also see it's starting to output some pulverized copper. It's really running hard now because those engines output 1 Minecraft joule per tick each, which is really, really good. And as this is only using 1.4, 2 of those right now, or 1.5 I guess you would say, are running as bonus energy, which is very good. The problem I have with this setup right here is that I'm going to have to come back every single time I want some copper, grab it out and go put it in this machine here, and I don't want to really do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build the powered furnace for this mod. So we go back, furnace. You can see it's got its own powered furnace, and it's also made with a machine frame and a reception coil. So I think I'm going to need some clay, which I don't believe I have any of just yet. So I'm going to go look for some clay, guys, and I will be back in a little bit. Okay guys, I am back. You can see here I'm just making some bricks. We only need 2, so I'm only going to make 2 bricks here. I'm going to throw them into the project table. I'm just going to put these back real quick. I believe they're building materials. So you can see to build this powered furnace, we need redstone, bricks, the machine frame and coil, as well as some copper. And you can see I've got all those ingredients here. So what we're going to do is just put them all together to get a furnace. The powered furnace, much like our little buddy here. If we place him down, you can see this has already got its own power built up, and this one is going to start building power. And what you're noticing is that this inventory is already emptied out into this, and that's the neat thing about these machines, is that they have a special configuration so that it can input from all of the sides around it basically, and it can also output from one side. So you can see here this one's output is the red one. But what I actually want is, you can see the 5% chance gave me some gold here, is I want this yellow one to output at the side as well. So we don't want this one to be like that. We want to be able to input from the top on the pulverizer, but we don't want to be able to input from the bottom. So what we're going to do is make this thing orange. And what orange does, I believe this has to be yellow. Maybe not. Nope. Okay, so making this orange will allow this to power over into this part right here, which is just perfect. So now that that's running itself, what we might do is actually delete this part right here and put a chest here. But I'm not sure. Do we want this to pump out into something? I don't know. I haven't thought about that. Let me think about that and I'll be right back, guys. Okay guys, this episode's going a little bit long, so we're probably going to cut it off here, but you can see these things haven't really burned through any of it. They had, I believe, 15 or so each. This one a little bit more. You can see they've got some ash built up in them. But what we're going to really notice is that if I come up here, these things, their power is already full, and that's perfect. I mean, the fact that their power is full already is beyond my wildest dreams. That's much more efficient than these anyway. So we're going to run with this for a little bit, but we will be switching back over to this. These are a little bit more expensive to run, and we built them a long time ago, so there's no point in quitting now. But anyway, guys, this has been Jovinator's FTB episode 20. Hope you guys enjoyed checking out the first 20 episodes. I hope we can go on for a little bit longer. Make sure you guys are liking and commenting as much as you can. I'm hoping to get a team up with one of you guys soon. And if you guys haven't gone to check out my one buddy, Hand Grenade, he's a YouTube commentator for Call of Duty, I really recommend you do that as well. So this is Jovinator signing out on episode 20. As always, guys, enjoy.